Hello there. What's going on, everybody? We've got ourselves a Pelta preview, and while it did not come in the form of a big old thought-out written article, we actually just are getting kind of AMG's version of this, which is just, hey, here's some pictures out on social media. So they really want you to follow them on Facebook and or Twitter and or Instagram and or whatever. I don't know if they have a TikTok yet, but I don't know. But basically, or you can just follow me and I'll bring you all the news. That works out well, too. So we're going to talk about this. We got 2 titles and a new fleet command that is very different than some of the things we've seen before. And I'm going to talk about those all today. If you guys are new here, there's still time left to enter to win the latest $25 Amazon gift card giveaway. You just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. I'm going to be announcing the next winner here in a few days, so stay tuned. You don't want to miss this. We also have a lot of other cool stuff coming up soon. We've got some more reviews, previews. We've got... Gosh, what do we got? Oh, we got that April Fool's Day battle report for Star Wars Legion is coming out, and it's gonna be a little bit longer to get some of this stuff because of the delays. There's been some big shipping delays with Suez, and I don't know if this whole wave is gonna get split up or if it's gonna show up all together late or what. But I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. So but stick with me for all the latest Armada news because I bring it to you just as soon as I get it. So the Pelta's got some new titles, and I'm glad that they're showing us this. Again, more space stations in the background. I really am going to be doing a video about space stations sometime here in the near future because I want to talk about space stations because they've been teasing them a lot more. Of course, stations were used a lot more prominently in the Clone Wars, so that makes it an excellent time to start bringing in space stations. But that's not really the point of this preview. It just kind of gets me off on a tangent because I love the artwork. I love the things that they do here. During the mini extravaganza, they were talking about it's so hard with Armada because all of your artwork is just going to be space in the background. And I'm like, well, I don't have a problem with that. I think space in the background is fine. But if you are trying to change things up a little bit, this is a great opportunity because you have awesome space station work in the background. All right, so we've got TB-73. I like this one. I like this one a lot. I feel like this is... it's just coincidence, but as somebody who's named Tim Bailey, I like this title a lot. It's actually a really great title because you're just gaining a defense token. So that's altogether awesome. So after you deploy, gain 1 additional evade defense token. Evade is now also way better than it ever was before, so having a second evade is going to be stupendous. As if you guys are not too familiar with the rules changes from Armada 1.5, and I haven't done a new how to play yet. I'll probably do that here pretty soon. But yeah, so evade tokens now have 2 additional functions. They now work at close range, performing the same effect that they would have at medium range, which is forcing your opponent to reroll 1 dice. But in addition to that, whenever you are spending an evade token, you can opt to discard the token to gain a bonus effect. That effect is if your attacker is larger than you. So this being a small ship, that means any medium or large ship, or huge for that matter, that attacks it, you get to resolve the defense or the evade against 1 additional die. So even if you're at close range, you still spend that 1. You're going to be able to force them to reroll 2 dice if you discard the token. Cool thing about this is that also does work if it's orange and you're spending it again and it was going to be discarded anyway. So maybe the first time you just spend it normally, or if you absolutely have to, you can just discard a green if you really, really need to. And also, since we do have extreme range now, it's a thing. Evades are also better against that because they get a +1. So if an onager is shooting you and you're this guy, you can drop one of those defense tokens, and cancel 3 dice right out the bat. So that's pretty cool. And you've got a whole nother one to spare here. So this is actually a pretty good, maybe good defense against that big long range salvo attack. I think it's pretty cool. But let me know what you think. 5 points is not unreasonable, especially for something just as flat out good as an extra defense token. FB88 Facebook 1988 did not exist in 1988, but that's okay. We've got FB88 there at only 4 points, so a little bit cheaper. By the way, these are both Republic only, so you cannot put these on Rebel Peltas, which is unfortunate. Wouldn't it be cool, right? Might be a cool house rule thing. Maybe you can try it out for home games and just see what you think. But no, these are only for the Republic. FB88, before you reveal a command, you may discard your top command dial. This one's interesting because it effectively turns you into a Command 1 ship that can have 2 command tokens, or not. It also gives you protection against, things like slicer tools or anybody trying to mess with your dials. You have a little bit of protection about this. This is actually a pretty well-rounded title. Not the best for everybody. Like if you're a single command type person, like if you're just gonna nav every turn, then this one isn't that big of a deal for you. If you don't go up against people who are playing command dial manipulation shenanigans, this one might not be as big of a deal for you. This one's a little more situational, still good, but it's also a very good new friendly type person, because the thing is, if you discard the top command dial, then you get to use the next command beneath that, since Pelta's a command 2 ship. And that means whatever you're gonna set, whenever you set those dials, you're gonna be setting the bottom one. You're gonna be able to react basically like a Command 1 ship. You always be kind of ignoring what the pre-planned one is, just then setting your next command token. Or is the command dial. So I think that's pretty cool. I think this is a decent one. In that it gives you the ability to kind of treat this one like a Command 1 ship, like it'll probably be a little, resemble your reaction speed of like a CR90, or in the Republic's case, maybe a C70 Charger or something like that. But it's not that flashy. It's just kind of normal. I like TB73 better because you're getting something with like this. It's gonna be universally more beneficial because FB88 is a little more situational. But both are pretty solid titles. I'm curious if those are the only 2 titles we're getting, or if there will be a third. I am curious about that. I would like it if there was a Pelta title that could work on either. Like if they gave you a dual class title in there, just because the Rebels only have the one title for their Pelta. And I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if there was a title that was called like Wings Can Be Open or Shut, and it can work on either factions. I think they'd have to put two different pictures in there, right? Or they'd put the Orabesh for Pelta or something like that. I don't know. But I don't know. That would be fun. But this also has me wondering a few other things. Is this the last preview? Have we seen all there is to see from this expansion? Speaking of all there is to see in this expansion, we've got another. I really like this artwork because this makes I've never seen the Peltas from below before, but they look really cool in this particular. I think the scale is a little off because I thought they were a little more narrow in the middle, but no, this is a really great look for them. So I like this. This kind of reminds you of when they were trying to get the food supplies to Ryloth, where you had Trench and then Anakin kind of flying through in the cloaked ship to kind of break that blockade and all of that good stuff. So very early season Clone Wars stuff from this artwork here. Mercy Mission is a zero-cost fleet command. Zero cost is interesting because usually anything that's zero cost is like, well, I might as well equip it. Why wouldn't you not use something that's zero cost? But in this case, it's a little different. So it's unique. It does have the little dot there, Mercy Mission. Before deploying fleets, unequip this card and choose a friendly small ship that is not your flagship. Equip this card to the chosen ship, even if it does not have a fleet command icon in its upgrade bar. At the end of the game, if you are within the enemy deployment zone, increase your score by 40 points. If you are destroyed, increase your fleet value by 20 points. So basically, this is going to go on a small ship, and currently there's only 2. All right, you can put this on a Consular or the Pelta. That's the only options you're going to have. The Consular's probably a pretty good choice, but I could see putting this on your Pelta that gets, the TB title that gets that extra evade if you want it to have a little more surviving power, because you definitely don't want this to be a ship that gets destroyed. It has to be small too, and that's actually a really good use for a Pelta. Is if you want a tanky small ship, this is a good option. The Pelta has always been a pretty good option for tanky small ships. So I think that's it's maybe not like admonition level tanky, but still it's got a brace, so it's not too shabby. So I like this. There's a risk there, because if you can kind of do like, and you know what, Star Wars Legion has this with R2D2 a little bit, like trying to the secret mission keyword there, where you want to just kind of get to the end zone, like it's playing a game of football. I need to get this guy into your deployment zone. So this can really change up some people's tactics. Plus, it's an extra 40 points in addition to whatever objective was scored. So like this is like very interesting. But it can backfire on you, and you can lose 20 points. All right, so so if your opponent is able to kill this ship, because if you put this out there, your opponent's coming for the ship because they're going to get a free 20 points by blowing and deny you 40. So it's really like a 60-point swing for them. So they have to kill this ship. I guess the 0 point or the breaker would be if you just happen to keep it alive but not get it into the deployment zone. Then it's kind of whiff. Then it's break even. But yeah, you know, like obviously if you're going to run this, you want to be able to get this ship in the deployment zone. You might run this one as just a bluff too, like you want them to come after it, and you just want to lead them on a wild goose chase. Because hey, if you put this on, you know, a C-70, you know, with and just fly it away, and your opponent sends something that could kill it after it, that might be a good net gain for you because you know, maybe you took one of your opponent's ships out of the fight. So like it's got a lot of bluffing power, and so this is really interesting in how you could play it, because you don't have to decide who's going to be the Mercy Mission ship until the game begins, because it's right before deploying fleets. So you can see like, oh, you know what? They only have they only have 2 ships. They only have 2 Star Destroyers. So they're probably not going to send one after this guy. So maybe they're not going to take the bait. But maybe they do. Maybe they have maybe they got a Gladiator Demolisher that might try and go after it. You know, but then again, maybe it'll catch it. So you know, like, wait, does the Gladiator Demolisher have engine techs? You know, maybe I don't want to. You know, so like you'll be able to look and see, like, is it worth kind of? But then again, it might be worth it drawing a Demolisher away from the fight. You know, if you're able to. You know, if you're able to do it. But I think a seasoned veteran is like, well, if you're just flying away, then you sent your ship out of the fight. You're also not going to score those 40 points, so I can ignore you, focus on the fleet. And it's I think it's worth noting that if they ever get a small ship flotilla in the Republic, this could potentially go on a ship with scatter as well. You know, if the flotillas, if the Clone Wars gets flotillas, and if they happen to also be small, and if they're, you know, have scatter defense tokens, so if they kind of resemble flotillas that the Empire and the Rebels get, there's no guarantee that they're going to get flotillas or that they'll be the same design as the Rebels and the Empire get. They may. I think there's a good chance they'll get some kind of flotilla, but they may be very different. But this is also something that you're going to have to weigh all future ships in the Republic against too. You know, I don't think we'll ever see any ultra tanky small ships, but I do think we'll get Architans, and I think Architans will also be small ships. I think we're going to get Architans for the Republic. And then there could be some small flotillas. There's certainly, you know, support craft and some shuttles and things of that sort that could work. I mean, then there's a lot of stuff that's kind of like soft cannon or like lightly used cannon, like peppered in there cannon. You know, things that have like shown up in a comic book or something that was mentioned in a book here, and that kind of stuff of having been a relic from the Clone Wars or whatever. So there's just a lot of things that canonically do exist in the timeline, but if they're not seen very prominently on screen, they're a little bit less likely to show up anytime soon. So I do think the next release we get for the Republic would be the Architans, and this one would also potentially impact that one as well. So I think this is a fun little fleet command. Now, there's some interesting points on this one. I think there's you know, I know a lot of people are talking about like, oh, it's a 0 point thing, and the only other one is Flag Bridge. So you don't have to take this on a Pelta. You know, you could take this on a larger ship if you use Flag Bridge, a medium or large ship. So you could have this on a Venator or something like that if you wanted, or you can have this on your Acclamator even, if you're running an Acclamator as your command ship. You have to obviously have you know, at least one small ship. In this case, you probably want 2. I think if you're running Mercy Mission, you want both a Pelta and a Consular. You want the fast and the slow option for whatever it is, because I think a Pelta might have a better chance of actually getting in there. You know, especially if you gave it engine techs, and I think I don't have it up in front of me right now, but I'm pretty sure the Republic Peltas do have the option to get engine techs, and Yeah, they absolutely do. Like the transport frigate has the well, they both have the option to be able to take something like an engine tech, the medical and the transport, both can take that. So there you go. I think that's, but neither one of them have fleet. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, you know, based on what we've seen, neither one of the Peltas can actually equip this. So, you know, or at least they can't start with it. You can always put it on them, though. So that's the other thing is, like, you know, where do you put it? I guess we'll have to wait and see, you know. but or there is another title that gives them that, or there's something else that, you know, that we haven't seen potentially that gives them this. But the other thing is, can you choose the same ship that this started on? Like, you know, if there is a title that grants some fleet support or whatever, or fleet command, it just says, you know, if we look at it, it just says equip this, or choose one friendly small ship. It doesn't say choose one other friendly small ship. So if, you know, if in theory, if you start this, if during list building, if you start this on a small ship, it can potentially stay on that small ship. So I think that's pretty interesting. And I guess the other question is, what if that small ship had one already, and you give it another one? Can it then have two? And I feel like it can, because it has the even if kind of qualifier on there. So you're just equipping this to the chosen ship, even if it doesn't have it. So in that case, even if it doesn't have a second one, right? So yeah, I think you can give it to them, even if, like, so I'm going to use like a Rebel Pelta as an example, even though Rebels can't take this, it's Republic only. But like, if you had a Rebel Pelta in a Republic fleet for whatever reason, and it had like, you know, its fleet command already slotted for something else, like maybe, you know, all fighters follow me, and you wanted to make it be the Mercy mission ship, you would then have two on there. That's based on the way it's worded here. That's how I think that would work. And because of the, even if it doesn't have the icon, it wouldn't have a second one to take a second one, but it says even if it doesn't. So I think that's the case. I wonder if this will eventually make its way into an FAQ document because of that, but I don't think it really needs it. I think it's mostly self-explanatory. But I'm curious what you think of these three cards. Do you think these are the last three that we're going to see from this pack? Do you think there's more in there that they haven't shown us yet? And if so, isn't it telling that, like, out of all the previews for Wave 10 we've gotten so far, none of them can be used by the Rebels or the Empire? Like, there's no generic new cards in here that they've shown us yet. Do you think that there will be any generic new cards? If so, does that mean they'll have to do another upgrade card collection at some point? You know, all of this stuff, I don't know if they will, because Legion did an upgrade card collection too, but that was years ago, and they've had a lot more expansions since then. There's not been another upgrade card collection, so what's going on with the upgrade card collection? Hot take, I would love for them to just stop putting upgrade cards in these expansions, unless they're, you know, ship specifics like titles and things like that, and instead just release upgrade card packs like twice a year. Just like, oh, here's some more cards. Here's some more cards. Boom. Here's some more cards. And that's how you get this way. Those will all be available, and so you won't have to ever buy, you know, I want more spinal armaments, and then you'll have to buy like 5 ships to have 5 spinal armaments and stuff like that. But I don't know. I mean, that's just shooting from the hip. All right, guys, let me know what you think down in the comment section. Don't forget to click the links in the description below if you want to check out and join Discord and talk about these cool previews. Join the community. We're family friendly. We have communities in there for Armada as well as X-Wing and Legion. Also check out we have the Teespring store down in the comment section. If you want to join Patreon, my patrons are amazing. Thank you guys so much for continuing to support the channel. You guys are awesome, and I couldn't do this without you guys. So thank you so much, and I will talk to you guys later. And as always, have a great day.